Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Disqualified. I am your NXT predictions champion, Trevin, joined as always by our main roster predictions champion, Caleb.
Hola.
And Zach, our cameraman, is as always behind the camera.
Yes, and we are here to talk about that brand he is repping on his shoulder, NXT. Yeah, so it was the go-home episode for the Great American Bash, or as we're going to call it throughout this episode, The Bash.
Yep, / the one match they have at Evolution. Well, technically two.
Yeah, this is, it's NXT has been the only show to consistently fill in gaps for Evolution. They're the only show to really promote it because, they don't...
Majorly.
Because the Great American Bash is something they do every year, so you don't really need to advertise it. Yeah. I guess you just need to book matches for it. But Evolution is something that this is the second time they're doing it. First time in, 7, 8 years?
Yeah, Ava mentioned the last one was in 2018.
Yeah, so, it's a cool thing. We get the Evolution Summit at the end of the night, which is... We're learning which NXT reps are going to be participating in the cross-brand Battle Royal.
Yep. And we get to see some of the main roster people participate in that Battle Royal, if it is everyone participating in there.
Yeah, but first, we start off with a match to get a match at the Bash. It is the Vanity Project Gauntlet match, everyone. So... Last week, Ricky Saints got challenged to a gauntlet by Ethan Page on behalf, got challenged to a gauntlet by Vanity Project on behalf of Ethan Page.
Yep.
So Ethan said, look, you go through them, you get the match.
You can even pick the stipulation.
Now Ricky added that part. He said, look, and if I win, I get to pick the stipulation going into Saturday. Now remember... Great American Bash is happening before Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
And we will not be talking about Saturday night's main event because it sucks. The only thing we'll have of note is if Gunther loses his title or not.
Yeah.
And if he does lose it, that will be the only thing I'm willing to talk about from that show. But back to NXT. So, Ricky Saints has to take on the Vanity Project consisting of Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, which are...
Swipe right.
And the Evolve champion, Jackson Drake, as they call him, the Carolina Reaper.
Even got a little Seth tattoo on his side.
Yep, but here we go. Opening match of the bell, and the first member of the gauntlet to enter the ring is Brad Baylor. So we have Ricky Saints versus Brad Baylor first.
Yep.
And... disposes of Brad Baylor in under, 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, no, we didn't even hit a commercial break warning or a picture-by-picture moment during this bout, I think.
Yep, and then we got WWE's worst nightmare. 2 people with the same first name in the same match.
We have
Ricky Saints and Ricky Smokes.
They're both Ricky S.
They're both Ricky S. People would be confused if they were written down on the list.
Yes, but as soon as we head in, while we're in picture, Ricky Saints hits Ricky Smokes with an over-the-top rope superplex and ow.
Mm-hmm. Gnarly landing indeed, Mr. Smokes. Gnarly landing indeed.
And after that moment, it was all Saints the rest of the bout.
Yep, Saints picks up the win with a roll-up. And then we get the last and final member of the Gauntlet, your Evolve champion, Jackson Drake.
And you know what? Ricky Saints is a little winded. Jackson is at full gas. He's a champ on Evolve. He shows us what he can do.
And what he can do is beat the brakes off of Ricky Saints for a good portion of this final bout.
Yes.
But Ricky Saints ultimately does prevail. He fights back, hits the Rochambeau
while making direct eye contact with Ethan, being like, this is it.
In a 1, 2, 3 on Vanity Project, the gauntlet is done. It is ran, and Ricky says, look, the stipulation, I'm going to dog walk your ass all over Atlanta. He said, I don't want to have to finish this in the ring. So, it is a Falls Count Anywhere match at the Great American Bash for the NXT Men's North American Championship.
Woo!
Ricky Saints, the former NXT North American Champion, taking on current North American Champion Ethan Page.
They're gonna cook.
It's going to be a very, very, very good match. And right after we record this, we're going to predict who goes over in that match. So stay tuned to the channel for this week. It will be a very, very, very heavy uploads week.
Yes. But next up, 2 people that are going to be at the Bash to sign a contract and then have their triple threat at Slammiversary are tagging, repping the brand of TNA. We have one, Mike Santana, and one, say his name and he appears. It's Joe Hendry.
Yeah, Joe Hendry and Santana working together. They're taking on High Rise, which consists of Tyreek Igwe and Tyson DuPont.
Yep, with
Wesley on the corner, of course, because he is the 3rd member of that stable.
E.
In this match, cooks.
Yes. Seriously, give me more Mike Santana.
Give me more High Rise.
Yeah.
They're also very good in the ring. Like, I remember when I first saw them, I was like, I don't know if they're going to really work. I just need to see more, and now I'm completely bought in.
Yeah, no. Like, all 4 of these men being, a little lesser known, little less action on our screens, besides maybe Joe Hendry, because of how much WWE is pushing him as their TNA liaison, kind of.
Yeah.
All 4 of these men are awesome.
Oh, yeah. And the match ends with, I believe it's High Rise going over.
No, it's Hendry and Santana.
Oh, yeah, no, Trick attacks afterwards. That's
yes.
what happens.
Well, Trick tries to attack during the match, but...
Oh, yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah.
So, it is Tyson DuPont, I believe, in the ring, and Mike Santana. Joe Hendry comes out of nowhere. Oh, I forgot a match on the board.
Oops. I believe it's after...
It's after...
the Oba Anymore segment, I believe. Yeah.
So, we get Hendry running, or Trick running in to attack Hendry, and Santana fends him off just long enough to hit the, spin the block.
Yep.
On Tyson DuPont.
For the 1, 2, 3.
And man, I love the spin the block.
It's such a cool looking move.
I just like discus moves. They're fun.
Yeah.
They're also, you have to coordinate them because you can very easily fuck something up.
Yeah. It's a show of skill of both the person doing it and the one taking it.
The best discus is the discus big boot. Rest in peace, Luke Harper, John Huber. But yeah, this leads to High Rise taking out both Hendry and Santana because they have the numbers advantage.
Yep, 4 against 2.
Yeah, and is Trick going to become part of High Rise, or do you think they're just allied right now?
I think they're just allied right now, as Wes, former TNA star, has history with the brand. Low-key, I want to see more. I want to see them finally put a finish or a period on the Unfinished Rascals business that Wes has with them.
I don't know. We shall see. But next, we get one of, let me tell you, the main reason why I'm tuning into Great American Bash. Don't get me wrong, the card looks good. It's an NXT show. It's going to be great. But the main reason, the meat and no potatoes, no fucking water, because it's just meat out there. like Booker T says, it is Obafemi taking on Yoshiki Inumura for the NXT champion. Yoshiki Inumura, the challenger from Noah, and Obafemi, the NXT champion.
The hype package they gave Inamura before he walked out.
Bro, this is going to feed families for generations. There is absolutely no way they can have a bad match.
No.
Yoshiki comes out and he says, look, I have friends, I have family, I have the fans riding for me, so I can't let them down. I can't disappoint them. And Oba says, look, I'm sorry, but you have a lot of people to pick up the pieces after I'm done with you.
Yep. He's like,
you're not taking this title off of me.
Yeah. He's even like, while you have people fighting for you, no. All I have to fight for is the fact that I'm the ruler. I just fight for myself, basically.
Yeah. And we get Josh Briggs, of all people, grabbing the mic and getting showered with booze.
Oof.
Well, I get it. You're not involved. Just because you're Inumura's tag team partner, like,
yeah.
Why are you out here? And more especially, why are you out here taking the spotlight from your teammate?
Yeah. But the promo he cuts basically says Yoshiki's too nice to say it, but he's got the skills and he's got the ability to kick your
ass. Yeah. And Oba says, look, Inumura, get your friend. Tell him to get out of my face before I give him a new one. And Josh Briggs takes that to heart. Boop! And then the brawl is on. Oba takes out Josh Briggs and Yoshiki, just trying to break it up because he wants to do things honorably. He doesn't even want to fight right now.
Yeah.
He gets hit by Oba, and then Inumura proceeds to drop Oba.
Yep.
And then they get broken up.
Yep.
Oba takes his title and leaves.
Yep. And as soon as the refs show up, Inamura lays off. He's like, this ain't the match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to squabble.
Yep.
And Oba's pissed.
Yeah. But the Bash is looking hard to predict, but it's not as hard to predict as Evolution is.
No.
So, next we get the match that I forgot about until now. It is Charlie Dempsey versus Tavion Heights.
Oh, there's another match we forgot.
What's the other match? Oh, there is another match we forgot. That happens after the Jordan Grace thing.
Okay.
Sorry. I was going straight off the dome with everything. I just forgot two matches.
Yeah.
So we get Charlie Dempsey versus Tavion Heights. If Tavion Heights wins, he gets to leave the NQCC.
And all I have to say about this match is, what the F, Charlie?
What the bruh, you got a chocolate factory. Like, why you need to do this to the man's legs? Like, you got money, you can let him leave. Sorry. I just noticed he has the Gene Wilder hair.
Yeah.
Except it's not partially gone.
Yeah. But, I mean, basically, it was Tavion 90% of the way. We thought Tavion's got it. But then...
Oh, I thought Tavion was taking this. But then Charlie plays dirty just like his daddy does.
Yep. Drops him through a gap in the stairs heading toward the ring. Kicks it, takes out his leg.
What I thought was interesting is I thought he was going to kick the stairs into the leg. But no. What he does is he climbs the stairs and starts stomping
the leg deeper into the gap.
And I'm like, damn!
Yep. Tosses him back into the ring.
And then just works on that leg.
Yep. And Tavion is looking at Ren Sinclair, who has the towel to give up, and he's like, don't you do it, Ren. Don't you do it. But Ren doesn't want to see her friends fight and get hurt anymore, so she chucks the towel, giving the win to Charlie.
And I don't blame her. But Charlie, what the fuck?
Yep. And after the match, Charlie doesn't even get to celebrate for too long as Ren gets in his face being like, what the heck was that, Charlie?
Mm-hmm.
You said this was going to be a fair bout. There was nothing fair about that.
Yep.
Charlie's getting dropped.
Bruh, I don't know what's going to happen.
He wanted control, and he is losing it all. Even the sole person who wanted to stay, Ren, is not liking his face.
Yeah, I mean, factions in NXT usually outlive their purpose. This is one that's outlived its purpose. It's time for it to die, become a new thing, and that new thing is everyone getting their singles runs. Because as much as Charlie is the main focus of the group because he's the best worker in the group, you have Tavion, who is an insane monster who's just waiting to be unleashed. You have Ren, who just needs time on screen to actually do stuff. You're starting to see stuff with Miles Bourne, but that's only one singles match so far outside of his Oba match.
Yeah.
Because I don't count him and Charlie as a singles match because while they were in the tag team, they were fighting to get out of it. It was a very transitional role. We've only seen him in one proper singles match since leaving the NQCC, and he picked up a win, but it was against Lexus King. So of course he's picking up the win.
Yeah. And Ren, we have not seen in any in-ring action since Deadline.
No. She was in the match 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago against Lash Legend.
Oh, yeah.
Where Lash debuted as a singles competitor, and she debuted her new look and gimmick and everything, and it looked great. Next, we get a Jordynne Grace makeover. So, how this starts is we see this is earlier in the show.
Yes.
This is like right after the Gauntlet match.
Yes.
So, we see Jordynne Grace working out in the NXT Performance Center, just working out, getting reps in. And
doing
then
some calisthenics.
we see Blake Monroe, relaxing. And then we get a call, or Blake Monroe calls Jordynne Grace. Jordynne says, "Where are you?" And Blake says, "Well, I'm working out." And Jordynne says, "But where are you? Because you're not here." And she says, "Oh, no, I just sent a car to come pick you up."
And Blake Monroe is like, because let me guess, your idea of a workout is you are in a black sports bra and black leggings in the gym getting all sweaty. And she's like, no. I mean, yes, you predicted it almost to a T, but that's not the point.
Yeah. Blake says, "Well, look, I have a different kind of workout. And just get in the car and try it out." I think the funniest part of this whole thing, because it's NXT. I mean, I don't expect...
It's a little cheesy.
I don't expect Emmy level acting, but I do expect better than high school level acting coming from 3 people who are in high school acting in this room. Expect better quality than what we were doing on our stages. But Jordynne says, "I can't lift a car," and I think that's the funniest line in this promo. She said, I don't know what you expect. I can't lift a car. She's like, "No, get in the car." And it's like Guardians 3. How do I get in? Open the fucking door. Get in the fucking car. She gets in, and then we teleport after the match to the beauty salon where Jordynne gets her nails done, gets makeup done, and a massage. And Blake says, "Look, you got to not do that all the time. You got to work out your body, because that's also working out. Recovery is working out."
As someone who has been on multiple different workout programs, recovery is 50% of the workout program.
Yeah. And Jordynne says, "Well, look, I don't mind this, but it's not something I need to do all the time." And Blake says, "Well, who knows?" End segment. What was the point? Was there something crucial in there?
No.
Okay. Back to the match back to the other match that I forgot. It is Laney Reed versus Kalani Jordan, because in backstage, Zaruka stated that they were in the Fatal 4-Way match at Evolution, and Kalani, in a weird weird character change. Instead of being pissy and upset at other people for their accomplishments, congratulates Zaruka. And then they leave. Laney Reed comes in, starts talking shit, saying like, well, it's time for me to step up and do stuff. And they're like, well, what have you accomplished? Did you not just hear her when she says it's time for her to step up and prove herself? Meaning she hasn't been, but
She got a dirty pin on Thea Hale. That's about it.
no, she has 2 wins. She got a clean win in her first one against Fallon.
Hey.
I believe it was Fallon at least. Oh no. She faced JC Jane in her first match, lost, then got the win over Thea Hale dirty. So 1-1 record currently as it stands. Kalani Jordan and Laney Reed agreed to a match later. And Kalani Jordan spends a majority of this match beating Laney Reed's ass.
Yep. Laney Reed did get a move that caused Kalani Jordan to walk around with a limp for a decent bit of it. But then Kalani hits the nastiest split-legged moonsault I have seen.
It was cool. She was on the middle rope, jumped up, did a 180 into a split-legged, one-of-a-kind moonsault, which was RVD's moonsault. Bounce off, hit Laney Reed. 1, 2, 3. And
But yeah, no, I was like, oh, that's cool. She's going to go for a splash. What the?
yeah, and then Kalani's celebrating, and we see Laney crawl behind Kalani in camera shot, and we're like, oh. I'm like, Laney's setting up for an attack. No, Laney's the one getting attacked.
Thea Hale wants a lick back.
Yeah, Thea Hale out of nowhere. Thea Hale just starts beating Laney Reed's ass.
And then the camera lingers on Kalani Jordan, and I'm like, oh, cool, we're setting up a new rivalry.
Yeah, because it pans to the side a little bit to like give room to like someone coming in there or like to obscure someone here.
Cut to commercial.
Cut to commercial. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
This entire segment...
I got hits, I got busts, I got new paper cuts.
This entire segment was confusing.
Yes.
The only understandable thing is that Kalani Jordan won and Thea Hale got a lick back.
Now, back to technically your main event match of the night. So I will do the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, your main event of the evening.
In that corner,
Your NXT Tag Team Champions, Hank and Tank.
and in that corner,
The Calling, represented by Nico Vance and Sean Spears. And this match is for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
also in the Callings corner is one Izzy Dame and one, I feel like they're saying newly fresh member, Tatum Paxley.
Well, she showed up in the backstage segment, and she also was in the same spot this week for the entrances, so she's in the Calling.
Yeah. But again, I ask, why'd you kick out Josh Briggs again?
That's not Josh Briggs, Brooks Jensen.
Oh, yeah, Brooks Jensen, my bad.
I don't fucking know. So I thought they were going to be, or the female members of the Calling, I thought they were going to be the representatives at at Evolution. Turns out they're not. But we get Hank and Tank, or as I like to call them, Honk and Tonk, defending their tag team titles against the Calling because Tatum Paxley got them a match last week.
Yep.
So,
And Hank and Tank agreed to it because they thought the Calling was the ones who attacked them.
even though it was revealed in a backstage, or not backstage, it was just in a promo that Dark State was the one that took them out. So we'll probably be getting them versus Hank and Tank and them taking the titles off of Hank and Tank.
Yep, because Dark State is currently busy causing chaos in TNA.
This match was a match. You thought I was going to say Cook, didn't you? I got your ass. You thought I was going to say Cook. No, this was a match. Like, it box standard tag team match.
Yeah.
The only notable thing that happened. I mean, the calling don't pick up the win. The calling lose.
Yeah.
The reason why is because Zaruka start beating up Izzy Dame and kidnap Tatum Paxley once again. Put the goth girl down. I get she's small. That does not mean you have to kidnap her twice in a row. But yes, I just find it so funny. And then, what we're going to talk about next, because that's it. That's the match. Nothing important happened in the match physically. Like, there was no important spot. Nothing cool happened.
Yeah.
Tatum Paxley gets kidnapped again.
Yeah. Tank's eyebrow got cut, and it looks like the back of Sean Spears' head also got decently cut open.
That's it. Now, it's the Evolution Summit. And this is where we are going to learn the women participants or it's an all-women's pay-per-view. The NXT participants in the Evolution Battle Royal.
6 NXT stars are going to participate in the Battle Royal, and their names are...
You take first 3, I'll take back 3.
Jada Parker, Izzy Dame, Lola Vice,
Alani Jordan, Lash Legend, and last but not least, the name that made me pop the hardest, Tatum Paxley is getting on the Evolution card. Woo! Fuck yes! Fuck yes!
Yeah!
Yeah, dude. I'm hyped. I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy for all of these women. It's a huge honor to be on the Evolution card. Like, Tatum is NXT's Rhea in my eyes of, like, not popularity. Like, don't. She's just my favorite NXT star.
Yes.
Like, women's star. Actually, NXT star in general. Tatum Paxley is just great. She has everything. But yeah, so Ava comes out and announces that these 6 women will be participating. And then we get Fatal Influence. They come out, they start complaining. They're like, you forgot about my match. And
I just mentioned you.
Yeah, she's like, you're forgetting about your NXT Women's Champion. I just said your name. Of course, JC Jane is flanked by Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, who I don't recall getting physical in this brawl that happens later on. But there's so many people she could have just got lost in the shuffle.
They did get lost in the shuffle. The people, I believe, who were laughing at the brawl were Izzy and Tatum.
Yes. Which, we'll get to Izzy and Tatum popping up at the end of this when we get there, because I have questions. Especially pertaining to what we just saw happen. But we'll get there when we get there.
Yes. But after Fatal Influence comes out, they get interrupted by Jordan Grace, JC's opponent at Evolution.
And then Stephanie Vaquer.
Yep.
And then the Dungeon Dolls, consisting of Natalia and Maxine Dupree.
Yep. Basically, this is called a summit for a reason, as most, if not all, of the main roster reps that are going to be in the Battle Royal flank the reign.
And then it's Jada Parker with a mic. And then Julia's behind her, your Women's United States Champion. Candice LeRae is over there.
You can see Zelina over
Vega.
there.
What the fuck? How did you all get in here?
Yes. So the main roster reps that were at the summit, which means either this is your Battle Royal or there's going to be some additional add-ins, possibly from Evolve, maybe a couple TNA reps.
I'm thinking there's going to be some knockouts. There probably might be some AAA reps.
But the 12 WWE women confirmed are the 6 we named for NXT. The Dungeon Dolls consisting of Maxine Dupree and Natalia, Stephanie Vaquer, Candice LeRae, Julia, and Zelina Vega. Those are your 12 confirmed.
Ivy Nile was also there.
Those are your
13
confirmed Battle Royale participants.
I think they might do
20 clean?
20, 25, or 30 is my limit. I think is what they're going. 20 at the low end, just because you have to get 3 more people in there. That's easy to book. 25 if you actually want to give fans a good experience, and 30 if you literally want to get the best match out there. Battle Royals are always better when the ring is crowded.
But with just these 13 people, that ring was getting crowded already.
Yeah, just with the star power alone. But yet they start brawling. Ava makes her way out. And then, at the top of the ramp, Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley are laughing. Now, I am not upset to see Tatum Paxley on my screen. I am just asking, who the fuck got her away from Zarya? Who the fuck back there separated them?
New Day.
Because we didn't see a follow-up segment with Sol Ruka and Tatum Paxley, Zarya, and Izzy Dame. No, we didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
Just the summit happens, and then they're out there.
Yeah, because
Also-
Izzy and Sol squabbled all the way to the back.
Also, Zarya's not in the Battle Royal.
Nope.
So what is she doing the weekend?
Just being it. She has the tag match.
Oh yeah, she does have the tag match at Evolution. Never mind, I forgot they were in there. They're not winning the match. I think it's going to the Kabuki Warriors. I'll give away one pick of mine. It's an easy pick. If it does change.
Yeah.
But with that is the episode of NXT, and that is this episode of Disqualified. Now, NXT was a pretty fun show.
Yeah.
Get ready for predictions to hit the channel soon for Great American Bash, and we shall discuss it here because we discussed it on Raw, but this is more pertaining to NXT because it is NXT.
Yep.
Great American Bash will be decided through 2 shows.
Yep.
And here's how. So, the women's, what was it, tag match that we decided on?
No, it was the...
Oh, the women's NXT championship
Yes.
match, because that is happening at Evolution. There's 7 matches on the card, and it is tripping me out currently. So we have JC Jane, your NXT Women's Champion, taking on Jordan Grace at Evolution. Now, this will be the final point that we score for Great American Bash. So, when Great American Bash comes out, we will not have a decisive winner at the end of the episode.
Unless our predictions leave it a clean victory where that point doesn't matter.
Exactly. So, once that happens, we will start to... Here's a little housekeeping thing. We're behind on punishments. We know one of his. We're figuring out one of Zach's. And then depending, if you lose this, and you have 3 stored up,
Bald.
well, that would just be a second punishment. We'll have to come up with a third.
Yeah.
But let's say if Zach loses, we'll do a game. If I lose, we'll do a game. Because then he has 2 stored up, right?
Yes.
You have 1 stored up, he has 2, and then I'll have 1 if I lose.
Yeah.
Mania, we haven't gotten punished for yet.
No.
You haven't got punished
No,
for
Mania
champion.
was the hot ones that we dropped.
That we did not get out because we lost that footage. I don't think you did the chamber punishment either.
I did the chamber punishment. That was part of the Jeopardy.
Also, that did not
Then
come
you
out.
are still owed some if we're counting lost footage.
And I'm owed some. We'll do another game. But, I don't know. I want to do another game. I think it's game time here at Disqualified. But that has been us from us here at Disqualified. I am your main roster predictions champion. Remember, the first 2-time main roster predictions champion, Caleb. That is your NXT predictions champion, Trevin. That is Beltless Zach, our producer and cameraman. And we will see you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell 3 times so you know the match is over. We will see you next time. Thank you for your time, and peace.
Bye!